Racial injustice refers to the unfair treatment, discrimination, and systemic disadvantages that individuals or groups face based on their race or ethnicity. It encompasses various forms of oppression, bias, and prejudice that result in unequal access to opportunities, resources, and social benefits. Historical context. Racial injustice has deep historical roots, often stemming from colonialism, slavery, and other oppressive systems. These systems were built on the belief in racial hierarchies, with certain races being considered superior or inferior to others. The legacy of these ideologies continues to shape societal structures and interactions today. Discrimination and prejudice. Racial injustice manifests in different ways, including individual acts of discrimination and prejudice. This can occur in various spheres of life, such as education, employment, housing, criminal justice, healthcare, and interactions with law enforcement. People of marginalized racial or ethnic backgrounds may face stereotyping, bias, and unequal treatment based solely on their race. Systemic racism. One of the key aspects of racial injustice is systemic racism, which refers to the ways in which institutions, laws, policies, and societal norms perpetuate racial disparities and unequal outcomes. Systemic racism operates at both the individual and structural levels, resulting in institutionalized biases that disadvantage certain racial groups. Examples of systemic racism can be found in education, where marginalized communities often have limited access to quality schools and resources. Employment discrimination can occur through biased hiring practices or wage gaps. In the criminal justice system, racial profiling, harsher sentencing, and over-policing of certain communities disproportionately affect people of color. Inequities and disparities. Racial injustice is closely tied to the existence of racial inequities and disparities. These disparities can be seen in areas such as income, wealth, education attainment, health outcomes, and political representation. Historical and ongoing discrimination contribute to these disparities, creating cycles of disadvantage that are difficult to break. Efforts for change. Addressing racial injustice requires collective action and systemic changes. Movements advocating for racial equality and justice, such as the Civil Rights Movement in the United States, have fought against racial discrimination and pushed for legal reforms. Efforts,